So the Odd Ones Out just fired his entire animation staff. Is that right? Is that what's going on here? I'm trying to make sense of this. The Odd Ones Out, which is James Rallison. You guys probably have seen his cartoons around YouTube. He's been pretty popular for a good number of years, at least probably, God, 10, 12 years now. And he was one of the early like full-time YouTube animation people. And he was part of the same clique that like Jaden and some of these other guys were. And that style of animation, the story time animation, was really big about 10, 12 years ago. Now, his channel's still doing fairly well. I just checked his numbers. He's getting like 25 million views a month or something like that. I don't know how many of those are shorts versus longs. But, you know, this guy was kind of sitting on top of the world not too long ago. He had a Netflix deal. He had merchandise. He had like a card game. Like he was doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And apparently he laid his team off because he was citing changes to the algorithm on YouTube. Now that is very, very interesting because we've been talking about this for 6 or 8 months at least, that something has changed at YouTube and it's not favoring a lot of the OG creators anymore. And also I think he's looking at the expense of creating animation, and it's hard to compete with AI now. I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, look, there's always going to be a place for amazing hand-drawn 2D art and amazing 3D animation done by somebody that really has the chops for it, right? But as far as YouTube is concerned, a cartoon is a cartoon. And if it's going to show cartoon content to kids now, the space that the Odd Ones Out and Jaden and those guys occupied is kind of being taken over with, you know, dancing cats and teacup-headed ballerinas and all this crazy AI stuff. And that has to be putting a pinch on him. But he had a staff of like 25 or 30 people. He let them go. And now, of course, animation Reddit, I'd say animation Twitter, but all those people have left Twitter. They've gone to BlueSky. But they're all accusing him of being a bad guy because he had to make a financial decision. And this is something we talk about often with, you know, the animation quote unquote community, is that there is a huge disconnect, I believe, with a lot of these younger people that want to make things. They don't understand that it costs money to make things, right? But we're going to look at his message. We're going to try to follow this drama. And apparently there's a whole big ass thread over on Reddit, because of course there is. And yeah, I mean, this guy was really doing well. He probably still is doing pretty well in the indie animation space, but it might be time for him to move on to other things. And maybe he had a sense about these people. I don't know. We're going to talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. So this is come from Pop Rant. This is a K-drama site, but they actually covered it yesterday. And we'll go out to Reddit after this and take a look at it. I just heard about this earlier today. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. YouTuber The Odd Ones Out sparks outrage after firing his entire animation team without warning. Netizens say James has blood on his hands. They're always so dramatic. James has blood on his hands. So James Rallison is facing backlash after reports claimed he abruptly fired his animation team. Leaked messages from freelancers sparked outrage online, with fans questioning the decision and raising wider concerns about job security for artists working behind major YouTube channels and animated content creators. I know you guys don't like to hear it from us, but we have been telling you for years, the animation industry is not in a good place right now. And that even includes indie animation. I think you have a better chance, but this stuff still costs money. He had like 30 people working for him. Wow, I wish I could have 30 people working for me. Then they could all turn on me and go run into BlueSky. They think we're awful without us having to fire anybody. They just, you know, it's so weird. Yesterday, I was out and somebody retweeted something from an animation person, you know, typical, whatever, younger person, flags in the bio, the whole thing, whatever. And it was an interesting post. And I was going to look at it, and I was actually going to retweet it. I couldn't do it because the person had me blocked. And I'm like, why the hell do you have me blocked? I never did anything to you. I'm like, oh, because I'm part of the dreaded CLOWNFISH TV that just is out here to rain on everybody's fucking parade. Okay, I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry. So The Odd Ones Out is facing heavy criticism online after reports claimed he suddenly dismissed his entire animation team. The controversy began circulating in mid-February 2026 when alleged messages from freelancers appeared online suggesting the animators who worked on his videos were let go without warning. The news quickly spread across Reddit. Of course it did. YouTube, commentary channels, and social media platforms. This is the first I'm hearing about it. Maybe it's because everybody who would talk about this has me blocked. They are on BlueSky. I haven't been paying attention. Fans expressed shock and anger. Many viewers say the animators played a huge role in building the channel's identity, making the sudden decision feel both surprising and unfair to those who helped shape the content. I can't even follow this tweet. So the fuck you mean the odd ones out fired his animation team. According to the discussion that surfaced online, several freelance animators who worked on the odd ones out videos were reportedly informed that their work was ending with little or no advance notice. Well, sometimes that happens. I mean, that's the unfortunate truth. Sometimes and I've been in situations like this where there's, some expected outcome. That expected outcome did not happen. You have to tell people they got to stop work because you can't afford to pay them. I've tried to be fair with people. Like, we had to let pretty much everybody go from our websites because websites are just done. They're cooked. They're not coming back, right? Like, pop culture sites are not coming back. And we had, several people working for us, and I tried to give them as much notice as I could. I was just like, hey, things aren't looking too great. I mean, we can probably float it for like another quarter and see where we're at, but I'm just going to tell you. Now, these were freelancers, and nobody was full time, but it still sucked because you feel like a failure, right? Even if there's literally nothing you can do, if it's just macroeconomic circumstances, you feel like a failure. So I'm thinking there's a business decision behind this. I'm wondering if he's selling odd ones out or something. I don't know. My spider sense is tingling. The suddenness of this, it feels like there's something going on there. Screenshots shared in Discord communities suggested the team learned about the change suddenly, leaving artists without a major source of income. That does suck. Many of the animators involved were not full-time employees, but freelancers. Okay. Who collaborated on large projects for the channel. Even so, fans say their work was clearly visible in the polished animation style that helped the channel stand out on YouTube. That is true. Jaden and the Odd Ones Out, those were the two big standouts from that era of storytime animation because they actually had the production values that a lot of other people didn't. And they actually kind of, withstood the test of time, I guess. But I have to wonder if they're not looking at the situation. If I were in his position, I'd be looking at the situation being like, man, this AI stuff is just eating our lunch. It's like, there's not, what kind of future are we going to have? And how can I justify spending, months working on animation when somebody can basically crap the same thing out in an hour with, with AI or with a team of people using AI? It's hard because of the long collaboration reports. The reports that the entire team was dismissed at once caught the community off guard. So here, rally. Yeah, fuck you. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is coming from Discord, I guess. Ant Fart. Why do they all have names like this? Ant Fart. So the entire Odd Ones Out team has been fired, which means my main source of income is gone. That does suck. As y'all know, it's about to be dreaded tax season. We're about to move, so I'll be doing commissions full time. This is always the kind of the thing, right? I'd like to ask a big favor from y'all to please boost my lovely coworkers' commissions to help support them as well. A bunch of links on BlueSky, of course. 2026 started off as a rather perplexing year, but I believe we'll pull through. Fingers crossed. Over the years, the channel grew to more than 20 million subs, turning the brand into a major online success. Detailed animation, smooth movement, and consistent visual styles were the key parts of the growth. Fans believe the animators played a major role behind the scenes. Yes, he actually started out doing, if I remember correctly, he started out doing the animation himself on like a laptop. It was very, very limited. I mean, even more so than just, bobbing up and down. Because I'm too damn lazy to change. Hey, we've got animated avatars in our shorts, right? But yeah, he was doing it all himself. And then he brought other people in. I think some people were just kind of collaborating with him just for the exposure because his channel was blowing up. And that's when you could get front paged on YouTube organically. Him and Jaden both got, really damn lucky. Let's be honest. They got really damn lucky and things kind of blew up for them. But yeah, I don't know where they go from here. Fans react with frustration, and disappointment. As the reports spread, reactions followed. Many viewers expressed disappointment with the situation. One user said on X, the Odd Ones Out built a whole empire on animation, then just dropped the people who made it possible. That feels wrong. Another commenter wrote, imagine helping someone build a 20 million subscriber channel and getting fired overnight. Some people were hoping the situation was misunderstood. speculation about financial pressures. Because James Rallison has not publicly addressed the situation, many theories have started circulating online. Some people believe the move could be connected to financial pressure or falling advertising revenue on long-form YouTube content. Yeah, so let's talk about that, because that seems to be what I'm gathering from him. So he has addressed the situation on his account just like a half an hour ago. He said, there's been some discussion online about changes to my team, and I want to clear a few things up. He said, we still have an animation team, and the artists working on future projects will continue to be credited in the videos they participate in making. So not everybody got fired. Over the years, I've worked with a lot of really talented freelancers on a project-by-project basis, depending on the needs of the video. That's also true. Like, it's hard for people to wrap their heads around, but anything, whether it's comics or games or whatever, it's mostly gig work, right? And even major movies, even like major Disney movies, it's like, it's gig work, man. My team has always fluctuated. Freelance creative work often shifts as projects evolve, and right now I'm working on scaling the team to focus on more condensed roles. Last year, despite having a sizable team, we only released 3 videos. This made it clear that I needed to seriously rework my production process. Somebody is whispering in his ear, or he's just reading the writing on the wall and saying, like, look, dude, for every one video you put out, somebody's cranking out 50,000 AI cat videos and you're getting buried and you're not getting found. That's probably what's going on. This was never a reflection of anyone's talent or the work they did. Many of these people helped build the channel, and I'm grateful for the time, creativity, and effort they put into the projects. This was not an easy thing to do. It is not. I had a one-on-one conversation with every artist involved and had face-to-face conversations with everyone locally. He said this was not some cold, insensitive breakup text. Some of the artists I've worked with have been part of the channel for a long time, and because of that, I tried to handle these changes in the most respectful way possible. I provided severance packages to all full-time freelancers. That wasn't something I planned on sharing publicly, but since the situation was already brought online, I feel it's important that all the details are understood. It's been frustrating seeing the situation described online in a way that makes this feel or look hostile when I try my best to make sure my artists were taken care of. Nothing about this was easy. Managing a large creative team comes with a lot of responsibility, and I tried my best to do right by the people I worked closely with. I've also told many of them that I'm happy to serve as a reference for future opportunities because they're talented artists. It would be selfish for me to keep these artists on hold with no projects or consistent work coming their way, so I made a tough decision. I want nothing but what's best for my team. I apologize if this felt sudden. I was extremely hesitant to make the decision myself. But again, with no other jobs to offer at the time, this was the best way forward. I wish I could give work to every artist in the community, but realistically, that just isn't possible. This is part of the problem. When you're part of a community, there are different expectations when you're part of a community versus being an employer hiring a person to do a job or someone hiring someone to do gig work. And I think young James is finding out the hard way that when you get to a certain point, you got to be a boss, right? It's not just a group of friends making stuff. When there's like, you got to be a boss and you got to make those decisions, and that fucking sucks, right? I've been there, and I think that's probably what's going on. And I have to wonder, and if he's looking at like, I got to be a business owner too, like, okay, well, we're going to get some outside help or I'm going to sell the damn thing, which that could happen too. I mean, theoretically, since The Odd One's Out, yeah, it started out as his stories, but it's basically just a generic round-headed cartoon character doing funny shit. Anybody could be The Odd One's Out. I mean, that's the truth of it, right? It's not like Ryan's World where the kid's like freaking 78 years old now, or whatever. The kid's older than I am now, I've linked everyone's socials in this post with the social media portfolio of my team from the last upload, and any of the artists can be found at the end of the credits of the video, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I got to see what the comments are on this. Okay, so here it comes. People from BlueSky. Wait, so you mean this whole situation was a perfectly normal situation that got blown out of proportion by idiots on the internet who lack rational thought and reasoning? Shocker. Okay. So if James had a one-on-one with every artist, why did pretty much all of them say that it was an abrupt breakup? Who the hell is lying? Yeah, how does having a one-on-one conversation absolve the possibility it feels like a breakup? Yeah, someone's never been let go from a job before. Both can be true at the same time. That actually is true. When I've gotten laid off, I've been laid off twice, I think, in my career. And both times it was very abrupt because it needed to get me out of the office. The one time I worked for a company that was government adjacent, and like they basically told me, like, yeah, your email doesn't work anymore and you can't get into your computer. We already locked all that stuff down. Yeah, so you got to go and you got to be out of here before noon. You know, nothing personal. We like you a lot. You've been here for years. We're changing our direction and it's not in the budget and yada yada. You know the deal. You always treat me, okay, so this is Sterling. You always treat me equitably and by a far mile better than I'm accustomed to in indie animation. I enjoyed my time working for you and wish you and your team all the best. I had a one-on-one conversation with every artist, except all of them said it was an abrupt decision with no warning. These cartoon stands, I gotta tell you, a lot of them, I think they fantasize about working in animation or they're going to school or whatever, but they really don't seem to grasp the reality of the situation, that it is a business at the end of the day. Like, we hired, I remember years ago, we hired a SCAD grad to color our comics. And it was like pulling teeth to get this person to be like, hey, yeah, we need this stuff like within a reasonable amount of time. You know, it's like the reason we hired you was to make our jobs easier, not to like have to chase you. Cause that's like one more thing we got to do. Interesting how you said you had one-on-one conversation with every artist and this was a process, even though every artist said it was incredibly abrupt. So there's a whole like mega thread here. I guess people are pulling stuff in from Discord. His views are down, but they're still in the millions. Plus being able to get sponsors and major back catalog makes me think this is a money issue. I think he's going to pivot direction. I think he's going to change his direction. This is a guy who already had a Netflix deal. And I don't know how his show did on Netflix. I'm going to be honest, but like, I think he's just looking at it and he's like, yeah, things are changing. I can't do the same thing forever. I can't keep 30 of my friends on staff. It's just not possible. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers this year. They said, unless he's going to try to pivot to AI, this person here says, unless he's trying to pivot to AI, there's no way he'd get hunted in the streets of VidCon. Well, then you just don't go to VidCon, do you? You know, I mean, that's it. You know they're gonna get you. You don't go, and you just sit back and collect your money. Honestly, that's probably what's gonna happen, and I think we're gonna see this a lot. And I think a lot of these people, I think this is gonna be a self-correcting problem because so many of these people are so anti-AI that they will anti-AI themselves out of a job. But I think in this case, he's just like, I'm not getting the views I used to get. He's like, I used to get hundreds of millions of views a month. Now I'm down to 25. And I think, if you look into it, I think you will find a good portion of his views are probably shorts, which means that he's not making hardly any money. Like you can have a short do really well and you might make like $10. You know, so shorts don't pay shit. I mean, they really don't. And this is a guy who's probably like, I'm going to pivot to an animation studio. That's just my take on it. You know, I don't know, but good luck to the people who have been displaced. And good luck to young James. You're going to need it dealing with these cartoon stands. They're crazy motherfuckers. I'm just saying. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.